So, oh, vehicle coming. The middle of May. Middle of May. What have I been doing for 8 weeks? Tomorrow, I believe, is theoretically the sort of first stage of go back to work day. I've just been going on a lot of long bike rides and long walks. What have I really been doing? I haven't been sat there figuring what's really to say. Nor have I been just surviving, even if that's what it feels like. I mean, we've had 2 months of this, it's just incredible. Another car coming, that's unusual. I'm checking in now and again to what is being said on some media, i.e. Radio 4, RT.com, Max Kaiser. Now and again, not for several weeks now, the fake gurus, bless them, like Russell Brand and people like that. Gets the point. You see, if I didn't know that the truth is our society is almost fatally atomized, has been for some time, I would wish to say a fundamental thing, which is lots of people talk about, oh, poor people with mental health issues. And then also, of course, there are people who are having to deal with death in the family. Seems a bit more... You see, what's interesting? Well, it's not interesting, and I'm not glib. This is not glib. So we have just had this warmest winter ever, when excess winter mortality should be way, way down. And, okay, the last few months it seems the excess mortality is up considerably. I think that there's an intangible. A lot of people have almost given up. A lot of people who might, had this not happened, sort of struggled on with whatever burdens they have, emotional or practical in life. I think who might have marginal health, I think you'll find, not that we're ever going to know, I think there's people who have just given up the will to live. And here's the thing. Now, I know that I have the kind of, a about one of the biggest tragedies, painful tragedies inside me. It's possible to have, and this has been going on over 10 years. Now, theoretically, it was over a few years ago, but still, it defines me. And it's times like these when the loss, or the almost certain loss, comes back to the fore. In other words, in one sentence, I live with real existential threat inside of me. And yet, I've moseyed on. Not because I have some tough guy personality. It's because I've allowed myself fully. You have to live through, you have to process, you have to... I was walking yesterday and I thought of a good way of putting it. Somebody, or life, it's never about any person. The way people have become. And in days gone, there were different ways that people were that were cruel and genuinely damaging in a big way. So, a rock gets thrown into the pond where you are on your rowing boat, and you have to, and that happened to me 10 years and 3 or 4 months ago, and you have to sit there and ride it out. You have to go with it. You can't pretend it hasn't happened. You have to go with it. And the ripples, well, if it's a big rock, they can last 2 or 3 years. And in fact, they're still echoing at times like this. So, there we go. There's not much point wishing much for myself, but I do wish. When I say that, I accept my life's kind of over. Although, this time a year ago, I was not in that mode. But I know my life's kind of over because I have been able for a long time to sort of spin little thoughtful, gently revolutionary concepts around, share them with others, and that kind of kept me going. I'm talking about simpler living, much more careful living in respect of the environment. Can't even have those conversations anymore. And there's this pretense that people will, because of this. Won't happen. That's why my life's kind of over. But I just hope others who could have a life in front of them can appreciate things like, if you have depression, anxiety, etc., etc., there'll be a day when you won't. Anyway, turn this off. Don't know why I turned it on, really. I'm going for more cycling down the lane.